We'll start with you, Adriana, because I know Chris has been pretty vocal about if the Giants are bad, Dable's going to get fired and Shane's going to get fired. If the Giants start off really bad, they're 0-5. How long is Brian Dable's leash? You think they would get rid of him in the middle of the year? You think they would clean house in the middle of the year and get ready for 2026? Or do you think that they would just play out the season if we got off to a really bad situation?
To me, it all depends on whether or not they have Shedeur Sanders or another quarterback. I think if they're 0-4 or 0-5 between Russ Wilson and Jameis Winston, but they have Shedeur Sanders and then they put him in and he wins like 2 games against, who knows, maybe he wins 2 division games or a division game and an AFC West game. Like, I think that could help to keep them and at least keep them through the rest of the year. I think if they start a rookie quarterback at some point throughout the season, nobody's getting fired. I think if everything is going wrong and they have no rookie quarterback and it's the 3 that are on the roster right now, I do think at the bye week, I don't think it would be sooner than that. I think at the bye we could see a change. And I think they would promote Kafka. I don't know what and Brandon Brown, I guess, would just be promotions through the rest of the year.
Yeah, if they would fire Shane, I would think so, yeah.
How would that work? They get off to a really bad start. They didn't draft Shedeur Sanders. They get off to a really bad start. Do they make it through the year, or does John Mara say, screw this, I'm punting, I'm going for 2026?
I think the bye week sounds about right. Like, the bye week is a good time to make any changes if you want to. The interim coaches and GMs have that extra week off that they can kind of just get things in order. So I think by the bye week, if they have like a significant losing record, then there's a really good chance that they do all get fired. I think it's going to be really hard for them to survive through another slow start this season, especially kind of, after signing a quarterback like Russell Wilson and going this whole offseason, all Shane and Dable were saying was that they need good quarterback play and they have to find their quarterback. And then they brought in Russell Wilson, and social media team made it a big deal and really hyped it up and acted like we got a franchise guy. So I think they got to prove that they have a quarterback that they believe in. Even if they don't land Shedeur or draft a quarterback this year, they're going to have to go ahead and win some games. And if they don't, I think John Mara made it very clear that his patience has run thin. And so if he doesn't get some better results this season, I absolutely could envision a midseason firing.
Chris, what do you think?
I got to see what they do in the draft first before I could completely answer this.
I'll just say they don't take Sanders.
If they don't take a quarterback in the first 2 rounds, I still don't think he'd fire them mid-season. It just doesn't seem to be what the Giants do. The only time in my lifetime that they have fired, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think the only time in my lifetime that they fired a coach in season was McAdoo, and that was only because of the Eli debacle. Otherwise, he would have saw the season through. Mm-hmm. I don't think Mara would fire them mid-season. Now, maybe if he comes to the conclusion that he's going to move off these guys with 2 or 3 weeks to play, then he may rip it up so he gets a head start on the GM and coaching search. That's possible, but I don't think he would fire them mid-season. I think they would see the entirety of this year. But I'm going to continue to say what I've said. If the Giants win 6 games this year, which I think is likely, I don't think they're going to win very many more than that. I hope they prove me wrong, and they don't draft the quarterback. I hope Brian Dable, for his sake, is calling the plays this year because he's going to be an offensive coordinator somewhere else in 2026, and Joe Shane will be an assistant GM somewhere else. That's what I think will happen if they don't draft the quarterback early, and that's where it seems to be trending. So for their sake, they better hope this team wins 8-9 games and is competitive if they're going to go into the year with Russell Wilson and without a young quarterback to sell John Mara on long term.
Yeah, I really hope that doesn't happen. It would be nice to get off to a good start for a change. And like I said, I don't want to be doing this show around Halloween and we're already talking about the draft in 2026. It seems like it's been the way, outside of 2022, it seems like every year I'm done with the Giants before I'm done with the Yankees, who, by the way, look like shit right now as well. But that's another time for another show there. But yeah, we got to get up to a good start. We got to be competitive, man. The Giants got to find ways to win games. And call me a fan, call me crazy. I've been called a lot freaking worse, and I'm sure people will call me a lot worse. I don't know why. I shouldn't do it, but I do go into this year with a little bit more optimism. I really like what Joe Shane did this offseason. I like what he did in free agency. I felt like he did correct some of his mistakes. I feel like he did a good job with the quarterback room. He didn't get a lot of years in, not a big financial commitment to either one of these guys. They're both capable NFL quarterbacks without question. Average, if Russell Wilson's average, that's better than anything we've had in 6 years. It's way better.